Fantastic. That's amazing. Thank you. Now, also type the color of my screen in the comment section. Also, type the color of my screen in the comment section. All right, so it is time to pay attention to the screen now. So let's revise what we did yesterday. So in the previous class, we learned ratio. Now, for the sake of those that were not in class yesterday, I'm going to revise what we did yesterday. We learned how to write ratio as a fraction. We identified ratio. So let's quickly run through. So identification of ratio. Pay attention, identification. Identification of ratio. Now, these are examples of ratio. When you see something like this, okay, this is a ratio. All right, when you see 3 and you see a colon, okay, when you have dots up and dots down, we call it a colon. All right, so when you have 3, the 2 dots at the middle, that's colon. It's on your device. If you check very well, you're going to see the keyboard that has a colon, all right? So when you have 3, a colon, and another number, this represents a ratio. So this is pronounced as ratio 3:7. It is pronounced as ratio 3:7. Let me write it in words. Ratio 3:7. That is how it is pronounced. And ratio 3:7 is an example of a ratio. Now look at another one. So if you have 350 grams is to 2 kilograms, this is an example of a ratio. And it is pronounced as ratio 350 grams is to 2 kilograms. Ratio 350 grams is to 2 kilograms. So these are examples of ratios. So anytime you see numbers with columns, let me add more. Ratio 7:1:4. This is also an example of a ratio. So it has about 3 numbers. Ratio 7:1:4. This is an example of a ratio. So it is pronounced as ratio 7:1:4. That is how we pronounce it. So this was one of the things we did previously. Now we also learned how to write ratio as fraction. Make sure you're writing. Make sure you're writing. Smart students at Learning Base Africa write and they listen. They listen attentively at the same time. Okay? They listen attentively at the same time. So make sure you are paying attention. All right? So now let's revise how to write ratio as a fraction. How do we write ratio as fraction? We did that previously. So writing ratio as a fraction. Writing ratio as a fraction. Now, when you have something like ratio 2:7, ratio 2:7 will be equal to 2/7. So we have been able to write the ratio 2:7 as a fraction. And ratio 2:7 is equal to 2/7. Now look at another one. Now we are meant to write ratio 11 kobo is to 5 naira as a fraction. Just write as a fraction, that's all. Ratio 11 kobo is to 5 naira as a fraction. That will be equal to 11 kobo over 5 naira. We've written it as a fraction. So we only need to learn how to convert from one unit to another. That's conversion. All right. We'll also be learning conversion this term, this third term, when our classes begin. All right. So now ratio 11 kobo is to 5 naira. Now let's move on. Let's move on. Let's move on. Another ratio as a fraction. So we're also to write this ratio as a fraction. Ratio 1,316 meters is to 10 kilometers. Ratio 1,316 meters is to 10 kilometers. So that will be ratio 1,316 meters, okay? That will be divided by 10 kilometers. Okay, so we can write kilometers in short form. That's 10 km. 1,316 meters over 10 kilometers. So this is how to write ratio as a fraction. This is how to write ratio as a fraction. Now let's move on to conversion. You know why we are treating conversion right now? Because we want to learn how to express ratio as simply as possible, okay? That is expressing ratio in their simplest forms. Expressing ratios in their simplest forms. So now I'm going to teach you conversion first. Make sure you're writing very fast because I want you to have a full note in math so you can always remember the class that you attended and the things that you learned. So let's start with conversion. If you're just coming in, don't worry. Just start writing from conversion. You will get the replay of the class later. Now, for conversion, I want you to take note that 1,000 meters is equal to 1 kilometer. This is conversion number 1. 1,000 meters is equal to 1 kilometer. Also take note that 100 centimeters is equal to 1 meter. 100 centimeters is equal to 1 meter. Okay? Now, also take note that 100 kobo is equal to 1 naira. 100 kobo is equal to 1 naira. Take note that 100 cents is equal to $1. 100 cents is equal to $1. You will also have to take note that 1,000 grams. 1,000 grams is equal to 1 kilogram. 1,000 grams is equal to 1 kilogram. We also have 60 seconds is equal to 1 minute. These are the basic ones we see every day. These are the basic conversion we see every day, okay? 60 seconds is equal to 1 minute. Sorry, not 1 minute. 60 seconds is equal to 1 minute. We know that 60 minutes is 1 hour. This is another thing that you need to note. 3,600 seconds is equal to 1 hour. 3,600 seconds is equal to 1 hour. So let me stop here. So take note of these conversions. 1,000 meters equals 1,000 meters is equal to 1 kilometer. 100 centimeters is equal to 1 meter. 100 kobo is equal to 1 naira. 100 cents is equal to $1. Okay? 1,000 grams is equal to 1 kilogram. I hope you got that. I hope you understand. Okay? 60 seconds is equal to 1 minute. 3,600 seconds is equal to 1 hour. Okay, so make sure you're paying attention. Okay, so I hope you have digested that. Awesome. So let's continue. Now let us express ratio in the simplest form. Can I scroll up? Can I scroll down? Are you done writing? So if you're done writing, please type done in the comment section. If you are done writing, please type done in the comment section. Please type done once you're done writing. Okay, amazing, amazing. Thank you. So, yes, you're done with only conversion. Maybe you didn't come when we started. So just pay attention. So now let's express ratio in the simplest form. Let us express ratio in the simplest form. Make sure you're writing. Expressing ratio in the simplest form. Now look at the first one. Let's express the following in their simplest forms. Or express the following in their lowest terms. So it's either you say in the simplest forms or in the lowest terms. In their lowest terms or simplest forms. So let's look at the first one. Ratio 14:18. Let us express ratio 14:18 in its simplest form. Now, whenever you want to express ratio in the simplest form, what you need to do is to write the ratio as a fraction first. Write the ratio as a fraction. So we'll say 14/18. Now, after writing it as a fraction, check if any number can divide. Check if any number can divide. So if you look at this very well, you will see that 2 can divide. So let's divide by 2. 2 goes into 14, that's 7. 2 goes into 18, that's 9. So that will be equal to 7/9. Now, after reducing it to the lowest term, write it back as a ratio. So that will be equal to ratio 7:9. After reducing the number to the lowest term, or after reducing the fraction to the lowest term, write the fraction back as a ratio, okay? Write the fraction back as a ratio. I hope that is clear. All right, so let's move on to the next one. What if you're to express ratio 11:12 in the simplest form? The first thing you need to do is to write as fraction. Okay, write it as a fraction. That's 11/12. Now look at the two numbers. What can divide? What can divide 11 and 12? That is, what is the common factor of 11 and 12? Nothing can divide 11/12. Okay, so since nothing can divide, we want to express in the simplest form. Right now, it is in the lowest term. For us to be able to express in the simplest form, we are going to multiply the numerator and the denominator by 2. Okay? Multiply the numerator and the denominator by 2. So whenever you're being given ratio, nothing can divide. Multiply the numerator and the denominator by 2. So we'll say times 2. So 11 times 2 is 22. 12 times 2 is 24. So the answer is ratio 22:24. Always write the fraction back as a ratio. Always rewrite the fraction as a ratio. So, another example. So what is ratio 150 kobo is to 4 naira? Ratio 150 kobo is to 4 naira. So let's do it together. We're going to write as a fraction. So that will be 150 kobo divided by 4 naira. Now, if you look at the numerator and the denominator, you will see that they are in different units, okay? They are in different units. The numerator is in kobo, the denominator is in naira. So we have to change the bigger units to the smaller units. Now, naira is bigger than kobo. So we have to change naira to kobo. So now in the conversion that I have just explained to you, you can see that 100 kobo makes 1 naira. So how many kobo makes 4 naira? If 1 naira is 100 kobo, so how many kobo are we going to have for 4 naira? Okay, you can see 4 naira is made up of 1 naira plus 1 naira plus 1 naira plus 1 naira. It's because I want you to understand, that's why I'm breaking it down. That is 1 into 4 places will give us 4 naira. Now, how do we change this to kobo? 1 naira is equal to 100 kobo. So that will be 100 kobo plus 100 kobo plus 100 kobo plus 100 kobo. And that will give us 400 kobo. So 4 naira into kobo is equal to 400 kobo. So we have been able to change it. So that will be 150 kobo divided by 400 kobo. So before you can express the ratio as simple as possible, you need to make sure that the numerator and the denominator of the fraction are in the same unit. So we have been able to make both numbers to be in the same unit. That is kobo, kobo. So now listen, kobo will cancel kobo. Then we reduce this fraction to the lowest term. 0 cancels 0. What can divide 15 and 40? Nothing can divide. So we're going to have 15 over 40. That is the lowest term. Now write this fraction back as ratio. Don't forget. Write the fraction back as a ratio. So that will be ratio 15 is to 40. Ratio 15 is to 40. So this is how to express ratio in different units as simple as possible. Now let's look at another question. Okay, so I hope you understand. Oh, thank you. Now I can see. 15 ratio 40. Yes, 5 can still divide. 5 can divide. Yeah. Now, 5 can divide 15 and 5 can divide 40. So 5 into 15, that is 3. 5 into 40, that is 8. So that will be equal to 3 over 8. Writing it back as a ratio, that will be ratio 3 is to 8. Ratio 3 is to 8. Now let's look at the next one. Now let's express this ratio in the simplest form. Ratio 1.5 hours is to 35 minutes. Ratio 1.5 hours is to 35 minutes. Now pay attention, we're going to write it as fraction. That will be 1.5 hours divided by 35 minutes. Now, hours is bigger than minutes. The unit hour, that is, hour is bigger than minute. So we have to convert the number in hour to minutes so that they can have the same unit, so that we can divide. All right, we have to change it. So how many minutes make 1 hour? We all know that 60 minutes is equal to 1 hour. Okay, then we have 1.5 hours here. How do we change 1.5 hours to minutes? If 1 hour, pay attention, if 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes, therefore, what is half hour? Because 1.5 means 1 plus half. So what is half hour? What is half hour? So half of 60 will be 30 minutes. Okay, that's half of 1 hour. So if we add both of them together, okay, if we have 1.5 hours, that is 60 plus 30 minutes, that will be 90 minutes. So now 1.5 hours is equal to 90 minutes. So let's go back to our workings right here. So 1.5 hours will now be 90 minutes over 35 minutes. So minutes will cancel minutes, okay? Then 5 can divide 90 and 5 can divide 35. 5 into 35, that's 7. 5 goes into 90. 5 goes into 9, that's 1, remainder 4. Write down your 4 beside the 0, that will make it 40. 5 goes into 40, that is 8. So which means 5 goes into 90 is 18. So the answer will be equal to 18 over 7. Nothing can divide. Now you have to rewrite the fraction that we've gotten as our answer as a ratio. So 18 over 7 is equal to ratio 18 is to 7. 18 over 7 is equal to ratio 18 is to 7. So I hope you understand. I hope you understand how to express ratio in the simplest form. If you're yet to understand, you will have to attend this class again and again up to 3 times. And when you are attending the class, don't let anybody disturb you. Go into a quiet place, pay attention, get your pen, get your book, pay attention, listen. If you have a headphone, okay, or headpiece, you can use it so that no other voice will get into your mind. Just pay attention to your work, watch this class again and again, then you will understand. So this is how to express ratio as simple as possible. It is question time, stars time. Question time, stars time. So let's see who wins this game. It's going to be the game between boys and girls. So question time. The first one, write ratio 22 to 41 as a fraction. Write ratio 22 to 41 as a fraction. I'm going to open the comment section right now. So I want you to post your answer. Type your answer and type your name beside your answer. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Post your answer now. I'm going to close the comment section, so post it now before I close the comment section again. Write it as a fraction. Type your answer and your name beside it. Awesome. So I only mentioned the first 10 names because we are many here. We are about 90. So I can't mention everybody's name, okay? So I have Ifeanyi Chukwu, Ohakelem, correct. Fola, that's correct. Michelina, correct. Victoria, God gift. Naomi, Michelle, Olayinka, correct. Favor, correct. Zulia, correct. Adegoke Nicole, correct. Sylvia, correct. Bola Tito, your answer is not correct. The denominator is not correct. Timileyin Aremu, correct. Success, correct. Lois, correct. My students are the ones typing fast. New students, you are welcome to class. Here at Learning Base Africa, we go faster as a jet. Yes, we teach you how to be as fast as a jet so that during examination, you will do your work well and you will still be fast at it. Wow. Praise, correct. F. Youngesian, correct. Kamsi. Is this Kamsi? You did not write as a fraction. Brian, correct. Adaora, Chris, correct. Tony, correct. Jesse, correct. Okay, so I'm closing the comment section. I believe everybody has typed his or her answer. Okay, so the answer is ratio 22 to 41 will be 22 over 41. So if you got this answer right, give yourself 3 stars. At the end of the class, you're going to tell me the number of stars that you have. Give yourself 3 stars. Okay, now the second question. Where are the boys? I have lots of boys in this class, but the boys that I have here, please, I need you to type fast because I want you to win the game. Now, let's move on to the next one. Let's express this ratio in the simplest form. Oh my God. Now, for this particular question, you're going to have 5 stars. 5 stars. Are you ready? Okay, express 720 seconds is to 15 minutes in the simplest form. Your answer will be in ratio. Okay, don't forget how you were taught. I believe you have written it down in your exercise book, just like this. Express 720 seconds to 15 minutes in the simplest form. Get ready to type your answer. We are fast here. We are fast. The first thing you will do is to write it as a fraction. Then you are going to change minutes to seconds because minutes is bigger than seconds. So who's ready to post? 5, 4, 3, 2. So who's going to get 5 stars tonight? 1. Post your answer now. Post your answer now. Ah, fantastic, amazing. Oh my God. Let me see who is getting the right answer. Like I said, I'm going to pick. Make sure you do the right thing. If you don't do the right thing, oh my God. Wow, wow. Okay, okay. You have to express it as simple as possible. If your answer is not in the simplest form, I will not call your name. Yes, Michelina, correct. So let me log the comment section. I believe everybody has typed the answer. I'm logging the comment section now so I can call your names. Michelina, that's correct. Glorious Ugochukwu, that's correct. Israel, correct. Victoria, correct. Wow, I have lots of smart students in the class. Wow. Similenya Remo, correct. Kamsi, correct. Praise, correct. That's my praise. Yeah. God gift, correct. Lois, you left it as a fraction, that will give you half. You didn't change it to ratio. Success Salah, what happened? You didn't express it in the simplest form. Nicole, correct. Yeah, I have Shemilore in the class. Shemilore, correct. Adaora, correct. Adeboye, peace, not correct. Sylvia, correct. Michelle, correct. Umo Justin, correct. These are Learning Based Africa students who attended our April classes. Olamide, correct. Adekunle Rukayat, thank you. Correct. Kazim Violet, correct. Uchechi, okay, so if you typed ratio 4:5 as your answer, if you know you typed ratio 4:5, give yourself 5 stars. Give yourself 5 stars. Give yourself 5 stars. So let's do it together. Ratio 720 seconds is to 15 minutes. So we write it as a fraction, 720 seconds over 15 minutes. So we change from minutes to seconds because minutes is bigger than seconds. We have done it. You saw how we converted this, right? So minutes is bigger than seconds. So how many minutes or how many seconds make 1 minute? 60 seconds is equal to 1 minute. So how many seconds will 15 minutes be? So that will be 15 times 60. That's equal to 900. So that will be 900 seconds. So that will be equal to 720 seconds over 900 seconds. All right? So you have converted it to the same unit. So you cancel the second. Second cancel second. 0 cancel 0. Then what can divide 90 and 72? 9 can divide. So 72 divided by 9, that's 8. 90 divided by 9, that is 10. We have 8 over 10. You can still divide 8 over 10. Okay, that's not the lowest term. 2 can divide. 2 in 8, that's 4. 2 in 10, that's 5. So that's equal to 4 over 5. Then write 4 over 5 as a ratio. That is ratio 4:5. So can you see the correction now? I hope you enjoyed it. Yeah, so if you got this right, give yourself 5 stars. Give yourself 5 big stars. Amazing. So don't worry, you're going to get a replay of this class later. So make sure you attend the class over and over and over and over. Like I said, go into a quiet place. Make sure you have your book and your pen. Attend this class. Become a pro in ratio, all right? Become an expert in ratio. Become a math genius for ratio. Okay, so now what do we do next? Yesterday we learned how to multiply only 2-digit numbers by 11. So can we quickly do our competition? Now, if you weren't here yesterday, pay attention to this. Pay attention to multiplying any 2-digit number by 11. We want to quickly do a fast finger answer, multiplying by 11. So now look at the first example. Now, I have taught this to a 6-year-old child, and the 6-year-old child got it fast. So, and I believe that everybody in this class is older than the 6-year-old child. So are you ready? So you should be able to get this fast. So how do we multiply by 11? So let's say 11 times 54. Now you're going to write down 5 and 4 at the same time, but give a space in between. You can see my 54 written, but there is a space in between the 2 digits. Then add 5 and 4 together, you have 9. So 11 times 54 is equal to 594. We call this mental math, math in the head. So we have lots of mental math strategies, but we can't teach everything in this class. So I'm teaching you only this. Then on Wednesday, we'll be having another class. Wednesday is a public holiday. It's May Day, Workers' Day. So no one is going to school on Wednesday. Make sure you get ready for the class. Now look at the second example. Look at the second example. 62 times 11. Write down 6 and 2. Give a space in between. Then add the two numbers together. 6 plus 2 is 8. Write 8 at the middle. The answer is 682. So I hope you understand that. That was what we did yesterday. Now let's look at when you have to carry over. When you have to carry over, what will you do? Now pay attention. 75 times 11. Write down 7, write down 5. Add 7 and 5 together. 7 plus 5 will give us 12. Don't write 12 at the middle. Can you see that I've cancelled it? Don't write 12 at the middle. 12 has 2 digits. So write down only 2, carry 1 over. Add the 1 to 7. That will give us 825. So 75 times 11 is equal to 825. Now look at the last example. 89 times 11. Write down 8 and 9. That's the first and the last digits with a space between them. Add the two digits together. 8 plus 9. 8 plus 9 is 17. Okay? 8 plus 9 is 17. Don't write 17 at the middle. Write only 7. Carry 1 over to 8. Add 1 to 8, you have 9. So our answer is 979. Now on Wednesday, you're going to learn more about multiplying by 11, especially when you have 3 digits numbers, 4 digits numbers.